good, y'all? It's the one and only King Cal 516 live in the mix, and this is the Swiss Flames podcast. So we are going to address the elephant in the room, which is Kyrie Irving. And before we do that, please check out the website www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Swiss Flames, and definitely check out the Facebook and YouTube page at Swiss Flames Podcast. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, please comment, as it only supports the channel and helps us to keep on growing. So we're here to attack the elephant in the room, Kyrie Irving. Now, if you clicked on this expecting a typical Kyrie Irving bashing, you have clicked the wrong button. I'm here to warn you that we're not going to be bashing Kyrie Irving in this video, but we're going to attack the elephant in the room because Kyrie Irving, you guys have seen it, has become basically a media hit piece when it comes to the jab. And we're just going to dive into this a little bit today. And so I want to start this off by basically pointing out and stressing the fact that this Swiss Flames podcast, when I started this whole channel, it was about not always coming the same angle that media tries to come. It was always about giving you guys an alternative about mainstream media, because let's just be honest, mainstream media a lot of times, it is what it is, and I understand the reasoning behind it, but a lot of times, you know, they focus on the same players over and over again. You know what I mean? And for granted, I understand that part of that is ratings and money. You want to talk about the most popular players that move the needle and who's going to give you ratings, because TV production is a lot of money to fund and to happen. I understand that. But when I was thinking about starting my own podcast, I was kind of mulling over how I wanted this channel to be. Part of it was really to give you stuff that the media doesn't give you. So if you look at my channel, I have yet to do a Kyrie Irving piece since I started this channel a couple months ago. I am not anti-Kyrie Irving at all. Actually, the first piece that I thought was coming down the pike that I will focus on Kyrie Irving was his contract extension. But with everything going on, that is now taken, the Nets have taken that off the table, which I don't blame them. So I focus on a lot of the star players as well, but I focus also on people that don't get a lot of mainstream attention. We just ran a piece yesterday about Jared Allen having my respect. When was the last time you seen Jared Allen really get a whole segment about him? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm giving you guys an alternative. So I'm just stressing that because part of what I'm going to talk about Kyrie Irving is probably not the most popular opinion or the opinion of the mainstream media, but that's okay. They have a right to their opinion just as much as I have a right to my opinion, right? But because I'm independent and because I can just directly say what I want to say and not have to worry about who am I appeasing and who I'm not appeasing, there's a little more freedom in what I'm doing. And I understand that actually is an advantage I have over some of the mainstream media, right? And what they do. So here's my thing about Kyrie Irving. First of all, we want to start this off and say Kyrie Irving is a phenomenal player, right? Kyrie Irving had a 50-40-90 season last year. Probably his best statistical season ever. Kyrie Irving was lights out last year, right? Ever since Kyrie Irving has left Cleveland, he has seemed to be a part of the media's agenda on attacking, right? Kyrie Irving comes off to a lot of people as a little different. You know, here's a guy who says the world is flat. You know, and there's a lot of other things we can get into, which I don't really want to get into. But Kyrie Irving, to a lot of people, might seem different because he doesn't always go with the popular opinion. You know what I mean? Which is fine. Which means if you're saying things that's not always the popular opinion, at least you know what that tells me. You're thinking. You know what I'm saying? For yourself. And you're not a person quick to just jump on everything everybody says to do. Now, the reason why I say that is Kyrie Irving has a history of that. So Kyrie Irving not wanting to take the jab and not jumping on it shouldn't be surprising in all actuality, in my opinion, because if you look at Kyrie Irving and kind of like the things he's done, the things he's said, it actually kind of lines up with who he is, right? Kyrie Irving is his own man. He makes his own decisions. And I get what he's trying to say. So Kyrie Irving, we know, went on IG Live to try to clear up everything that's being said, because let's just face it, there's a lot of reports, false narratives. That's why we here at the Switch Swing Podcast, we try to be careful on what we talk about. We also do know that it won't be flawless because things will be reported and then later to find out not true. You know what I mean? But we try our best to be careful on what we talk about with the information out to make sure that we are well informed as best as possible, right? And if we are speculating, you kind of know we are. You know what I mean? Definitely like to put that out there. So, Kyrie Irving and his IG pretty much explained the situation from his point of view. And to me, it made everything a little bit more clearer about what's going on. So let me break this down. Just letting you guys understand, just paraphrasing. But what Kyrie basically, to reiterate what he said, one of the key things that I thought that came out of that IG was that when he was coming into this season, basically he was expecting that he was going to be able to play and not have any holdups, similar to how it was previously, in the NBA. Hey, you got to go through these protocols, and as long as you go through these protocols, you'll be able to play. Now, there might be more restrictions on the players who don't have the jab, but you would just have to be more restricted in what you would be allowed to do, what you can and cannot do. So Kyrie Irving had every intention of playing every single game, every intention of reporting and playing the season. But right before the preseason started, right before even training camp started, the mandate from New York State came down about being vaccinated. And we know the NBA stance is going to be, hey, you got to follow what the city says. We're going to follow that. And whether we want to admit or not, the NBA is pro-jab. Most of the players in the NBA have the vaccine, right? Now, a $1 billion industry that is based upon their players traveling from state to state most of the year, coming in contact with so many different kind of people, they are going to want you to take the jab. And once again, if you take the jab, what happens? You have less restrictions. Now, if your city starts to mandate it, the team in the city has to follow the regulations of the government of that state. So the New York teams have to have the jab in order to play, basically, in their home games. So both the Knicks and Nets fall under that. In San Francisco, we know that the Warriors fall under that because that city has also created a mandate. We also know it's quite possible that more cities will follow suit sooner or later. It's definitely a possibility that it can go that direction. I have no issue with the NBA, who's a $1 billion entity, feeling that this is the best way moving forward for us to continue making sure that we don't hurt our revenue, to continue to make sure that we don't have to do any kind of shutdown. So it's obvious the NBA will take a pro-jab approach, and I understand that, and I have no issue with that because I understand that's the business of being a $1 billion entity. But on the flip side of this, now that I have that information about Kyrie Irving that, it just kind of happened on him, I respect Kyrie Irving for feeling the pressure and not succumbing to the pressure if he's uncomfortable with the vaccine. I'm alright with Kyrie Irving being uncomfortable with the vaccine. I'm alright with Kyrie Irving, not sure if he wants to take it yet, and not taking it. Andrew Wiggins, who was another guy, obviously he plays for the Golden State Warriors, we know he got vaccinated. But wasn't it clearly obvious that there was a lot of pressure on Andrew Wiggins? Isn't it kind of clearly obvious that Andrew Wiggins felt pressured into taking the vaccine? Now, we can argue whether that's good. We can argue whether that's not good. But Kyrie Irving, once again, based upon his history, based upon what we know, he is not the kind of guy that's going to fall into that pressure. He's got his own mind, his own way of thinking. And guess what? Kyrie Irving is on his own timeline. Now, that might not coincide with what everybody else wants. And that's what makes Kyrie Irving an easy target for the media. The media loves to rag on Kyrie Irving. That has become the norm of the media. Alright, so Kyrie Irving, when he does something that goes against the norm, the media loves to bring that to the forefront and keep running segments on it. And they'll all gang up on him, keep running segments on it. Because Kyrie Irving is one of those players that moved the needle in an NBA. Kyrie Irving is a very popular player, in case you guys don't realize it, right? Kyrie Irving sneakers do very well as well, right? He's popular with the youngsters. The young kids like Kyrie Irving. And so, they're going to run segments because Kyrie is definitely one of those players who moved the needle. But if you notice, most of the segments on Kyrie Irving usually have some negativity attached towards it, which is interesting because Kyrie Irving actually is a phenomenal basketball player. Like we said, he had a 50-40-90 season last year. He's a phenomenal basketball player. For his size and the way he finishes at the rim is unbelievable. He has some of the best handles we have ever seen in the NBA, right? He's an efficient scorer. He shoots the ball very, very well at a high level. Kyrie Irving's game is of the highest order. Let's not make no mistake about it. I want to keep emphasizing that because I don't think that gets stressed enough. And so, I say that to say this. Kyrie has every right not to take the vaccine if he doesn't want to. And it's okay if he loses money, if he's okay with that. And right now, what it looks like is Kyrie Irving is okay with that. And to me, that proves his point even stronger. This guy was set out to play the season. A mandate happened. And now, at the moment, he's basically losing half of his salary this year. He's still going to come with a pretty penny. You know, way more money than a lot of us have. But he still, at the moment, is in line to lose a whole lot of money. I mean, this guy is losing per game over $300,000. That's just insane, right? And so my whole thing is he's willing to hold on to what he believes right now. And he's not comfortable taking a jab right now. And he's willing to hold on, and he's losing millions. So basically he's putting his money where his mouth is. And so me as a man, I just respect that because he's standing on what he believes. And guess what? If Kyrie Irving in 3 weeks decides, okay, all right, I'm comfortable, I'm going to take the jab, I'm good now, I have no issue with that. Now, media will blow it up, and I already see a narrative that they're going to put out there. What was this all for? Well, it doesn't matter what was it all for. It doesn't even have to be about something. Even if he's going on saying he wants to be a voice for the voiceless, he doesn't like the fact that people are losing their jobs because they're being forced to take a vaccine. That's okay, cool. But it doesn't have to mean anything. Because ultimately, it's just Kyrie Irving's decision whether he wants to take the jab or not. So the fact that this has become, he has become the story of taking a vaccine or not, it really is insane, but it goes to show you how polarizing Kyrie Irving is and how the media likes to use Kyrie Irving for a hit piece. He's a target. There's certain players that are targets for the media that they like to run a hit piece on. Basically negative segments about the person because it moves the needle for them. Right? And so here at the Switch Swing Podcast, once again, I just want to stress, I'm not trying to run negative hit segments on somebody. If we say anything negative about somebody, we might be critiquing their game, and that's where we are. You know, that's what we're just trying to keep these here. We're just trying to keep it strictly basketball. So you see us critique somebody, most of the time we're critiquing the game. Oh, they need to learn to trust their teammates more. Oh, they need to shoot the ball better. Oh, they need to be more aggressive. We're coming from basketball's point of view. You know what I'm saying? All this personal stuff, honestly, here we could care less about on this channel. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to stress that because I want you guys to be fully aware of what you're going to get with this product. You know what I mean? But Kyrie Irving is the elephant in the room. And he's standing strong. And like I said, if he's willing to take the consequences of his actions, knowing that he's going to lose money, that's his prerogative. You know what I'm saying? And to me, the fact that he's holding his ground, knowing that he's losing money, shows me he's serious about his decision. And it's not a game. And it's not for attention. You know what I mean? And it's not to play with his teammates. You know, it's none of these things that people are depicting. It's not to separate his team, and it's not to screw over Kevin Durant and James Harden and all this stuff. Nah. He just literally doesn't feel comfortable taking the shot right now. And I think he has that right, if he's uncomfortable with his, to take that stand. Anyhow, let me know what you think in the comments. It's your boy King Kyle 516 signing off. This has been the Switch Flame Podcast, y'all. Peace.